echo sings for you. Rain falls on this town as you fall into the light. It's dark as into the water.
Greetings, travelling lads here, reporting back on this second full day of my trip around Finland. Up to the Arctic Circle trip, but I'm going to be talking about the rest of the first day now, after what happened following the last video I made. So, as you know, we're in the Regatta cafe in Helsinki. Amazing place, love that place. Tanya, though, seemed to love it even more because she decided she would go outside the cafe and sketch it. And she did this absolutely incredible sketch. The only problem was it took her hours and hours to do, and it was freezing cold. So I actually went for a little bit of a walk while she did it. Well, I had 2 more drinks, read some more, then went for a walk. And I was quite glad I did. So it is a really pretty city, Helsinki. Round the corner from the cafe, there was the Sibelius monument, which Sibelius is a composer, and that was quite cool. It had a bit of a Soviet feel to it, I felt. And then I walked along by the sea, frozen over there, and there were some really beautiful old built villas. There was one I was heading towards. I thought it was a church, and it wasn't. It was a villa, and it was. I didn't take a photo up close of it because it was a restricted government property. So whether it's like a presidential villa or something that they use for visiting dignitaries, I don't know, but it was quite cool. Went back there, and yeah, her drawing was absolutely amazing, and she actually gave it to the cafe, and they were really grateful. So that's that. Then we got back on our scooter and we rode through some more of the capital, along the coast this time, past an Orthodox church with an Orthodox graveyard, but it was utterly freezing, so we left it by a metro station and then went in to the very centre. And in the centre we decided to go for a little walk. Oh, first we had a burger, because Tanya was hungry, I wasn't. Tanya was hungry, so she had a Hesburger, which is a local burger chain. And then we went for a little walk around the centre. I have, of course, been to the centre of Helsinki before, but it's an incredible city architecturally. There's nowhere quite like it. The Finns have this like native architectural style that's something between like standard European and a Scottish castle, with a touch of fascism. I mean, one of my favourite ones is the railway station itself, and it's got these 4 great figures holding like globe-shaped lights. Amazing. But there was a lot of this sort of monumental granite architecture. Wouldn't have looked at a place in Aberdeen. And yeah, that's another cold city with a lot of granite, I suppose. So we walked around by the main church, which I'd visited before when I visited a few years ago, then came back and collected our luggage. And we had about an hour and a half to wait until the train. So we went into what I can describe as the finest station buffet in the world. I mean, look, I've gone on before about how I love railway stations, and if you're going on a great journey, you should depart or arrive into a great railway station, and certainly Helsinki does not disappoint in any way, shape or form. But this buffet, it's up there with anything the Soviet Union did. Had incredible painting on one of the walls. I think it was a painting, may have been a mosaic, but it was pure luxury, and it's wonderful building. So I spent an hour in there, but what was also great is I said to the guy behind the bar, I said, "Oh, can I have a coffee?" He's like, "Sure." And I said, "How much is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's on us." So the cafe bit's shut now, but you're waiting, yeah, have a free coffee. And I just thought, that's really, really nice. So yeah, we did that. And then we got on our train, and for a magnificent journey, you need a magnificent train, and this did not disappoint. It was the first train I've ever been on that was a sleeper train with double-decker carriages. So you've got sleeping compartments and then another floor of sleeping compartments. I think certainly the track gauge in Finland is broader than in most countries, but also I'm guessing the loading gauge must be, because otherwise you never fit them under bridges. Not that there are many bridges here, but yeah, this enormous train, and we had this cabin all to ourselves, and that was that. And so we departed about 11:15 at night, and it was dark by then anyway, so it didn't see much, and didn't get to sleep very easily. That's always a problem I have on sleeper trains, but did eventually. But there we are, rumbled away into the Finnish night as we headed north. Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, reporting live from the Arctic Circle, or at least very near it. So I am actually sitting in a museum at the moment called Arktikum or Arktikum. Here we are. Look at that. Off on either side are exhibits, and they're all about like the Northern Lights, and polar bears, and the Sami people, anything to do with the Arctic. And if that wasn't enough, well, just beyond the window we have the Arctic, and it's a frozen lake or river. It's a river, a frozen river, and the bridge is one we crossed earlier today, because they're also obsessed with the Arctic here in Rovaniemi, because we are very almost on the Arctic Circle, and 8 kilometres north of the city is the Arctic Circle, and to celebrate the fact, they've built a Santa Claus village there. So that's where we went this morning. But before I talk about that, I'll talk about our train journey. So as you know, we fell asleep rumbling through the night on the train, and woke up still rumbling along on the train. Really good, really fast sleeper train, electrified all the way as well. And we woke up to this like never-ending vista of birch and evergreen trees. So I've never done the Trans-Siberian, but I'm guessing it's a bit like that. So it's my alternative to the Trans-Siberian until I can do it. And we lay in bed for a while, opened the window, and we went through a town called Kemi, which I thought was remarkably nice of them to name a city after the leader of the opposition, and a suitably miserable and depressing a place it looked to as well. But so we saw the scenery from Kemi onwards, and got up, did a little bit of reading, and then went to the buffet car. The buffet car, a bit strange. It's the only coach in the whole of the train that is not double decker. So the train's like tall, tiny buffet car, tall. And it was also rammed because everyone was having their breakfast. So I had breakfast in the buffet car, had a croissant and a coffee. It was very nice. Tanya didn't want a croissant and a coffee, she wanted noodles, which they didn't do, so she had to get hot water and then make her own noodles. But yeah, anyway, that was that, and it was about 11:15, we got into Rovaniemi, put our bags into the locker, and then got a taxi, bit lazy that, got a taxi all the way up to the Santa Claus village. Our taxi driver was actually Pakistani, which shows you something about how Europe is these days. Most of the other people on the train seemed to be Spanish, and there was a very good smattering of Chinese. The people we don't seem to be seeing very much of around here are the Finns. But, that is, I guess, what you expect in a tourist town, and we are in a tourist town, so probably I expect Oulu and other places to be a little bit more Finnish. But, yes, fair few British people on your own as well. But, our taxi driver, he was from near Lahore, and, near Islamabad. So I had a good chat with him about my travels in Pakistan, and then got deposited in the Santa Claus village, which is, without doubt, one of the cheesiest places I have ever visited. Probably very atmospheric when the snow is deep and crisp and even, but now, as you can see, it's a bit more melted. So it just looked a bit sorry for itself. We did go and see Santa Claus. You can't see evidence of this because you weren't allowed to take photos, and they wanted €40 for the photo they'd taken. Which was not happening, although we do have a certificate each. And even though I wrote Tanya's name out in block capitals, they managed to spell it wrong. But that's okay. We got lots of cheesy souvenirs, so spent all our money there. And then we went and stood on the line of the Arctic Circle, Although apparently the Arctic Circle moves about a couple of meters each day or something. So I'm guessing that's like a sort of average line of the Arctic Circle. We stood there and then went around the Santa Claus village a bit and sent a postcard with an Arctic Circle postmark on it and bought a few souvenirs and stuff like that before taking the bus back with the world's most miserable bus driver to the centre of Rovaniemi, where we went really local and had a Chinese buffet. Tanya is rather picky with food, I have to say. I gave her a reindeer pie yesterday in the Regatta Cafe, and it freaked her out. So yeah, she's sticking with the noodles. But yes, to be honest, it was all right, and it was like €17, which is not mega cheap. But for Finland, it's probably not bad. So yes, we did that, and then we walked out here to the Arktikum, and it's pretty good actually. It was recommended by a friend. It is meant to be the site to see in Rovaniemi. The only problem is, because I don't sleep very well on sleeper trains, I'm very tired. I was dropping off in the simulation of the Northern Lights and then dropping off again in the video room, so I think I'm probably going to have a coffee. But that is the palatial confines of the Arktikum in Rovaniemi. Only a few miles from the Arctic Circle. It's me, Uncle Travelling Matt, saying
closer.
keep travelling.
The echo sings for you.